Spain woke up this week to what felt like a tiny confession with outsized consequences. Tomás Roncero, the loud and unabashed Madridist pundit, was asked where his sympathies lie in the nightly rivalry between Pablo Moto's long-established El Hormiguero and David Broncano's punchy newcomer La Revuelta, and he answered with a line that landed like a spark on dry grass. If it's a tie, he's more drawn to El Hormiguero. That sentence, casual for a man used to wearing his allegiances on his sleeve, ricocheted through social feeds and talk radio, and suddenly a long-running fight for viewers didn't feel like a numbers game only for programmers and ad buyers. It felt like a referendum on taste, belonging, and who gets to define Spanish primetime. El Hormiguero is not merely a show. For years it has been a reliable anchor for Antena 3, a polished format that brings international guests, warm host banter, and that familiarly steady audience that advertisers crave. La Revuelta arrived like a gust of provocation, a younger, sharper voice that carries Broncano's trademark irreverence and a live theatre energy that speaks to a different kind of viewer, one that prizes surprise, edge and a sense of being in on something new. When two programs this different start to register at similar levels, with both pulling near the 2 million mark on peak nights and with single-digit percentage swings determining bragging rights, what used to be a quiet slot skirmish becomes a cultural contest. Behind the microphones and the tweets are real stakes. Advertisers who buy spots based on demo slices, producers whose careers hinge on steady growth, and networks that are always measuring not only reach but the kind of audience they attract. The old guard wants consistency, the new guard wants momentum, and both are dangerous to ignore. Roncero's small declaration mattered because he is more than a random viewer. He is a public voice with football-shaped loyalties, and when he wraps a TV preference around admiration for figures like Sergio Ramos, that preference reads as identity signaling, a reminder that in Spain, sport, go. Celebrity and entertainment bleed into one another, but this is not simply about which host is more likable. The numbers show a razor-thin dance. Both shows have produced nights where the lead swaps, nights where the veteran edges ahead thanks to a big guest, and nights where Broncano's youthful audience spikes the share. Those margins, a few tenths of a point, a handful of thousands of viewers, are the difference between comfortable renewal talks and frantic format tweaks. For viewers, it's a rare moment to feel influential. Share the clip, repost the take, and the conversation swells into an event that forces the networks onto the defensive or the offensive. For artists and hosts, the duel becomes an invitation to sharpen their identities. Moto's leaning into the established emotional interviews and big names he can pull. Broncano doubling down on spontaneity and younger talent to keep that kinetic audience. The cultural layer is the most interesting. This feels like a generational tug-of-war disguised as entertainment. Older audiences prize ritual, predictability, and the kind of companionship a long-running show affords. Younger viewers prize risk, irony, and an experience that feels less curated and more immediate. That means the winner is not necessarily the one with the biggest overnight rating, but the one that can convert ephemeral interest into sustained habit. And there are business consequences too. Advertisers will follow whichever show promises the demographic they need. Streaming and catch-up platforms will note which clips generate traction, and producers will start pitching spin-offs, specials and scheduling moves with this rivalry in mind. Could this spark a reshuffle where networks chase younger viewers more aggressively, or will the veteran format reinforce its immunity by leaning on its solid base and impressive guest roster? Either outcome reshapes the way primetime is built. In the end, Roncero's line did what a viral moment often does. It crystallized an underlying shift into a story everyone could understand and argue about. Whether you cheer for the seasoned charm of El Hormiguero or the raw unfamiliarity of La Revuelta, the deeper story is that Spanish primetime has become a contested cultural a mirror for changing tastes where a single offhand preference from a known commentator can turn a quiet rivalry into a headline. The real winner may not be a host or a channel, but the audience itself, suddenly aware of the power of viewership, and the networks that can listen, adapt and keep that audience coming back night after night.